Like, there's that line where the dad and the other coach are like complaining, and then the ref comes up and says, "Ain't no rule that says a dog can't play basketball."
Yes.
Welcome back to Short Pour. We're your hosts. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brandon.
And this week, we have a Lil Buddy for you. We have the Hopewell Brewing Company's Lil Buddy. And I chose this one for the lighter side because Hopewell describes it as a little lager. Lil Buddy is a delightful little lager, a snack, a proverbial +1. This easygoing, lighthearted lager sidles right up with other boozy pals, but surely holds its own if you're just looking for a little less, which sometimes is more. It comes in at a 4.2 ABV, and it is in a half can. They sell it in literally, I guess it's eight fluid ounces, so it's like what, 3/4 can?
Like 2/3.
Or yeah, so I guess it's like 2/3 can, but it does look like it's half of the can. And I picked it literally because it is just literally physically lighter.
It is, yeah. It's a little. People on the reviews said it was like a stubby can. I was like, yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
It's just a little guy.
It is.
For as carbonated as it was coming out of the can, I feel like it released a lot of its carbonation because it tastes not flat, but not very carbonated.
Yeah, and especially we've been doing all these light beers, and this one definitely has a lot more flavor going on.
Yeah, it does have. Yeah, it has a lot more to it. It does a lot more on the front end, I feel like, too.
Yeah, I agree. So we can see what a few people said about it. So the first one, with so many milkshake and fruit flavored beers coming out, it was great to have a straight lager. This is not a great lager, but the taste is good. A beer you could drink all day.
Not a great lager, but it's it's a lager. It's not a goddamn milkshake again, I guess.
Right.
Also, I don't know how many. I guess there are a lot of fruit beers, but
yeah,
I don't know that I've had like a ton of milkshake flavored beers.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. And I always wish I had more context of like what time of year was this going on for you? You know, like was it closer to, because I feel like a more stout, beer comes out in like the late fall and like winter.
Yeah, colder.
And so like so I was like, where is it just like winter time, or when were you trying to drink it?
Yeah, you know what, actually? I will say you're right, like of the other lighter side beers that we've done, this does seem more like a fall type of beer. It is getting more towards that end.
Right. So the second person said, this beer is bland as hell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pale gold with swilly suds, clean corn, and lager yeast aroma. Very mild hop presence. Wet saltine crackers. Crisp and strongly carbed. Doesn't resemble a German Helles. More American macro lager in style. I don't get the point of this. If I wanted a macro, I'd just buy one for half the price. Good way to get toddlers on the beer, I guess.
What?
I assume that last thing is because of the size, because like the can.
Yeah, because it does look like it should be like a snack pack. Like it comes.
It does look like a little kid's, those little sodas so that the kid doesn't drink a whole bunch.
Or it looks like it should be the drink that comes in the fucking maxed out Lunchables.
Yes, dude, those were good.
I loved the deep dish pizza ones. Were so good, dude.
Yeah, they were good. I loved the regular pizza ones, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say I ate way too many of those in college. They had them at the on-campus stores for us, and so you could just go in and like use like points for like swipes.
Yes.
For the dining halls. Yes. For that, and I would get a ton of them. And you know what? They're like terrible. They're terrible for you.
Yeah, but they taste good.
Yeah, but they taste amazing. I do love those. And the thing too is like they're raw. Like it's all just cold, and I loved them cold.
I know. I remember I had friends who would like heat them up, and I was like, ew, like what are you doing?
Disgusting. Yeah. Okay, so this episode with the Lil Buddy, I chose to focus on the sensation that swept the nation in the 1990s of Buddy the acting dog.
Oh my God.
So
All right.
we're gonna get a quick word from our sponsor, and we will be back with Buddy the acting dog.
Attention! If you or a loved one has consumed Peter Peener's peanut butter, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Peanut butter has been found to contain an amount of undisclosed bodily fluids that have been known to react with jams or jellies. Please contact the law offices of Victoria Vaginer for free consultation and information packet. Together we can put this bad peener in its place.
In 1992, on an episode of America's Funniest Home Videos, a video was sent in of a dog scoring a basketball on a hoop. Later that year and into 1994, that same dog would appear on David Letterman performing that same skill several times. Sometime in there, he would be the first dog to play Comet the Dog on Full House and make a return to that role in 1995 to show up John Stamos' character Jesse by making a basket on his first try while Jesse was struggling. And 2 years after that, in 1997, a movie about a basketball-playing dog, Air Bud, would release, named after the real dog that actually made baskets, Buddy the dog.
That was a great movie, too.
Dude, I loved that movie. And I didn't realize how much I loved that movie, even into adulthood.
Yeah.
I have been a real fan of the Buddy movies.
Yes, yeah.
Until I started looking into this. Air Bud himself had 6 movies, and then in the mythos, he had puppies.
Yes.
And they had 8 movies, or 9 or 10, considering they get into the whole Santa Paws series. But
yeah.
Buddy the dog, who played Air Bud originally, only played him for the original movie. Sadly, he passed away before they made the second one.
Mm.
But apparently that dog, actually could, he was trained to actually make the baskets.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took him to do that.
So I was looking into it, and the owner, he actually found him as a stray dog, literally wandering in the Sierra Nevada desert. Isn't that crazy?
Jeez.
Just a random, side of the road.
Yeah.
He stopped. He picked this dog up, fell in love with him. Apparently he was just all around an amazing dog. And I guess somehow, somewhere along the line, he started trying to teach him tricks. And I guess for all the time that he knew him, Buddy the dog really liked basketball. He actually did like playing sports.
Yeah.
So the way that he would do the trick was he would somebody would have to throw the ball up, and he would jump up and kind of twist, and he would hit the ball with his mouth. And his owner trained him to get it to where he could start making it into the basket.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that he did that, though, it was kind of like a trick. He would use a basketball that was oiled up with olive oil. And so Buddy would try to bite the ball.
Yes.
But because it was oiled and slippery, it would just send it up. And I guess he just used that, and he kind of trained him to be consistent enough to make the basket.
Okay, yeah.
But across the years, you can kind of see he would do it from different angles and different distances. I'm sure it would take multiple tries.
Right.
But he could do it from the close to the 3-point line, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And after knowing that the ball was oiled up, if you go back and watch the videos or the movie, you can see that the ball is super shiny.
Oh man, yeah, I have to look at that.
Yeah. Apparently the owner also trained him to do tricks in baseball, football, soccer, and hockey. But I guess Buddy the dog himself just loved basketball the best. That was always the one that he really liked the most.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you can watch the whole movie and a ton of other Air Bud type stuff on Air Bud TV on YouTube right now. It's totally free.
Oh, sweet. That's good.
So I did that. What do you remember of the movie? Because that's going to be the episode, is us talking about this movie. How much do you remember of it?
So I remember the clown guy genuinely creeped me out.
Oh,
Norm Snively.
Yeah, whoa, dude. I cannot believe you remembered his name.
Well, okay, I cheated on that one because I wanted to look up the character and the actor.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be dude, that guy genuinely creeps me out. This is a side thing because I was looking up the character. So he's played by Michael Jeter. Michael Jeter was also in Green Mile.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
And I was like, oh my God, that guy creeped me out too. Like that guy, Michael Jeter creeps me
Yeah,
out.
He's a fucking creep, man.
And it's sad because his IMDb picture makes him like look really nice. I'm like, no, man, I know you. You scare me.
He almost, Michael Jeter almost looks like if William H. Macy got arrested for like lewd conduct.
Okay, I can see that.
That's like if you, that's what he looks like.
Okay, so let me give you a synopsis of what I remember from the movie.
Okay.
The kid Josh, right, plays on a basketball team.
Yep, Josh is the main character.
So the dog runs away from like a circus, and that's where freaking Norm Snively is from, because he's the clown, I think, from it or something.
Okay.
And the kid is playing basketball or trying to shoot, and he realizes that the dog can shoot. And so then he convinces the school or whoever he's playing for to put the dog on the team, and they start winning a bunch of games. But then the clown, like, he becomes famous. The clown like figures out that that's his dog, and he tries to come get him. And I just remember him having that like creepy van, with no windows, and he throws the dog in there and tries to run away with him. But I will also say, I don't remember much else of like how it resolves itself. But I will say, to be fair, that was his dog.
Okay.
It's not the kid's dog.
Yeah.
Even though he obviously lives a better life with the kid, I was like, well, to be fair, it was the clown's dog. So
okay, so you got most of it right. So the movie starts off with the dad of the family dying in a plane crash off screen.
Jesus, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, so that's why they like move. Josh and his mom and his little sister move to Fernfield, Washington.
Okay.
And when they go there, he's like, they have like this whole scene of his mom talking to the principal of the school, and he's like sitting outside the room and he can like hear them talking. And like, it's like so messed up because the mom is like, yeah, he's really a pathetic little guy. I mean, ever since his dad died, he's just been so quiet.
Yeah.
You can like hear them. It's so weird. So the clown, Norm Snively, you're right. He is a clown. He's just like a party clown, I guess.
Okay.
And he's not from the circus, but he does use Buddy the dog in his act, and he like even dresses him up in like a little clown outfit, and it's actually pretty cute.
Yeah.
So you're also right. One day Josh goes out and he's like practicing basketball, and the dog runs away from Norm after he gets mad at him because he's a big piece of shit owner. And he sees Josh playing basketball, and he's like, kind of at the edge of the woods.
Yes.
And Josh sees him, and he's like kind of scared or whatever. So Josh puts pudding cups, and I don't know why this kid has a full pack of pudding cups in his backpack, but he puts like a trail of pudding cups out that leads him out to him. And then finally the dog like kind of comes out, and he like starts eating the pudding, and he like follows all of them up to Josh, and he kind of like gains his trust, and he like realizes that he likes to play basketball like pretty quickly. And then he like, throws it up, and he like makes a basket and stuff. And we find out over that the dog, and this is a quote from like how the synopsis like puts it, Buddy, who had recently escaped from his abusive owner, a rude, grumpy, alcoholic party clown named Norm Snively, who dislikes kids and being a clown. Dude, and I read that and I was like, I don't remember him being an alcoholic. Dude, this guy is totally an alcoholic.
Well, because I think, does he like drink and drive?
I think so at some point, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's maybe like implied of like, because I think in his van, there's just like a bunch of bottles always like sloshing around or something.
Well, later on, you see his house, and we'll get to that in the plot. But later on, you see his house, and he has like a beer can pyramid built.
Yes.
Like in his window, like in his open window, he has like a beer can pyramid.
Wait, hey, did you rewatch this movie?
I rewatched a lot of it. I didn't rewatch it all the way through, like complete, but I did jump around and like I rewatched a bunch of the scenes.
Okay.
So you're right. Also with at school, he moves to that new school, and Josh wants to join the basketball team, but the coach is like a real asshole.
Of course.
And like he even like comes up to him and he's like, "Hey, I'd like to try out for the team." And he's like, "Well, I need a manager. They work really hard getting all the water for the real players and stuff." And he's like, he seems like the kind of guy of like he's almost like a Cajun football coach.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
kind of like an air about him. But so the star player on the team is like the perfect douchebag. Like they nailed the casting with this kid because he has such a punchable face. He's got like shoulder length blonde hair and this like little pig nose. And at some point he's like, "What's wrong, water boy?" to like Josh and stuff. And he just has like the perfect punching face.
I gotta see him. What's the character's name?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you remember?
Larry.
Okay, hold on. I gotta see.
Okay, right though? Doesn't he have a punchable face?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they nailed it, dude. Like the actor or whatever, like he does a great job in that role, honestly. And he plays such just like a little asshole.
See, it sucks for that because this kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will always view him as that. You know what I mean? Like he's typecast as like, nah, you're just an asshole. I'm never going to root for you.
Yep. It's kind of like the Joffrey effect where like he did such a good job at making you hate him that you just hate that guy. When you see his face, you cannot help but hate him. So, Josh becomes the manager or whatever. And for some reason, nobody at the school knows that the maintenance worker is a former NBA player. But Josh sees him playing basketball and he like befriends him. And that guy, Cheney, ends up like kind of like teaching him some skills and stuff and helps him earn a spot on the roster.
Okay, yeah.
And that pisses off the bully, Larry. That pisses off Larry and Larry's dad. So they play a game, right? It's like Josh's first game, and his mom brings Buddy to the game. Or maybe Buddy gets like loose or whatever and like runs to the school. Either way, it ends up with Buddy running onto the court and like taking the ball.
Yeah.
And all of like the refs and stuff start like slipping for some reason. Like
yeah, because the ball's putting olive oil all over the court.
Yeah. But they're like, trying to like catch the dog, right?
Yeah.
But they do it in almost like a cartoonish way where they're like diving, trying to like tackle this dog. And like, who would do it that way? And the way that they shoot it, it almost makes it look like there's like 8 refs because I think the same guy tries to tackle and like falls comically like 6 times.
Yeah, like a Keystone Cops kind of thing.
And actually, I think one of the refs, I think it's the guy who keeps falling, was Buddy's owner.
Oh, like in real life?
Yeah, like it was actual.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't. I mean, I guess I don't know if Buddy ran there, then that's one thing. But if the mom brought the golden retriever to an indoor basketball game, I'd be like, "What the fuck, mom? Like, why would you bring the dog in here? That doesn't make any sense."
Okay, to be fair, I do think that I think he like ran to the school of his own volition.
Okay.
So the coach is like big mad, and I think they end up losing the game. I think they have to forfeit.
Yeah.
So like the Cajun football coach guy is like super mad, and he keeps one kid in particular back after the game.
Yeah.
And it's like a super creepy scene. And as soon as I saw it, I like remembered it. But he has all of the lights in the gym off, except for this like spotlight on this kid. And he's like chucking the ball at him. And he's like, "Catch the ball, Tom. Just catch the ball." He's like throwing it at him.
Yeah.
And Tom is like crying. And then like the principal.
Yes. Because they see him like abusing the kid, right?
Yeah. And they like see him, they like walk into like, "What are you doing, coach?" And he's like, just getting this kid ready for the next game.
Yes.
And so like they fire him.
Also, how old are these kids? Like what grade is this? Are they in middle school?
I think they're like 6th grade because Josh is 12.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Josh is supposed to be 12. So obviously, once they fire that coach, they make Cheney, the former NBA player, the coach.
Yeah, because why would you not?
Yeah, and I forgot about this scene, but I remembered it as soon as I saw it. He has all of the kids on the team start to play with an invisible ball. Do you remember that scene?
Yes. I think so, yeah.
He's like spinning a ball like in his hands. He's like, "Well, you know what? A ball is just rubber with a bunch of air trapped inside. So before you get good with the rubber, you got to manipulate the air." And he like starts like having
yeah.
them like pass the fake ball around, and that pisses the bully off. Like Larry is like not having it, which to be fair,
I'd be mad too.
yeah, I would be like, okay, I mean, I get the sentiment, but it is kind of dumb.
Yeah. He was like the first airbender.
Yeah. So at their very next game, Cheney ends up taking the bully out because his whole thing is that he wants the team to be like more of like a team and like pass a lot and just pass to the open player.
Yes.
And the bully is like, he's good. He's a good player. So, and his dad is like an asshole. So before it was all like that kid had the ball. He was a ball hog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Cheney takes him out because he was being a ball hog and not running the new system. So his dad transfers him to the rival middle school's team.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine that?
Big time middle school basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What an action. And like as a kid, like you don't even question that. But like that is such a drastic move to do for middle school basketball.
Dude, the best part is that their season's like maybe like 10 weeks long. You know, just like this was such a blip on the radar of his middle school career.
Yeah. And it's only 6th grade.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's so crazy. But so sometime after that kid leaves, and whenever they're playing, like they start to do really well as a team.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, Buddy becomes like the team's mascot because people at the game who saw him run onto the court and make the basket really liked him.
Yes.
And so they start doing like a halftime show where Buddy would like make baskets for the halftime.
Yeah.
Right. And so people like really loved it, and it was like fun, and it started to draw like actual crowds because they wanted to go see the dog like make baskets.
Right.
And so this is where you remember it as well. That draws the attention of Norm.
Okay.
And so he comes back to claim Buddy to try to like make money off of him because he's like starting to be like draw crowds and stuff.
Yes.
So he shows up to Josh's house in his like pickup truck with that gigantic clown head on top of it.
Yes. Okay, I remember
and it's
that.
like all dilapidated and shit. And it literally looks like something out of Twisted Metal.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're right. Like he ends up like coming back, and he like has like ownership papers. And so he takes the dog.
Yeah.
Right. He like gets Buddy, and he like puts him in the cage in the back of his truck, and he like drives off. Right.
Yeah. It's his dog.
It is his dog. Yeah.
It's his dog, man.
It is. So anyway, Josh finds where that guy lives because he's the only guy in Fernfield with a gigantic clown head on his truck.
Right.
And he's like walking by and like sees his truck, you know? So he sneaks into his backyard, and that's where he sees like him like talking on the phone. And he's like talking about like getting Buddy to do a beer commercial.
Oh.
So I guess that's another hint that he's an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you see like the beer can tower and stuff. And so he like sees Buddy, he like frees him, and that Norm does not like this.
Okay.
He sees him, and he starts chasing him, and he gets in his truck, and he starts like driving at them.
Yes.
I don't even know what his plan was, but he's like driving at them, and Josh like goes into like a park, and he's like driving over the park and shit.
Yes.
And like his truck starts like falling apart.
Right.
And like the hood like pops up and stuff. And he's like, oh, he like tries to hit the brakes, and the entire brake system just like falls off the bottom of the truck.
Yes.
And then at some point his steering wheel pops off.
Okay, yeah.
And so he's like not able to stop or steer. And so he like drives into like a lake.
Does he end up like driving off a dock or something? Yes. Okay. Yes.
He just drives like straight off of a dock, and it's like, dude, why didn't you bail? Like, why didn't you jump out?
I guess he figured the water would be softer than the ground. I don't know. And
so anyway, so Josh is like, rightfully, like shouldn't Norm go to jail after that?
Yeah, probably.
Clearly he should be charged with something, but Josh is rightfully freaked out at that point. So in order to protect Buddy and himself, Josh takes like a little ferry over to like a little section across like that lake into like a patch of woods.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to set Buddy free to start a new life. And that's what he's like talking at. He's like yelling. He's like, go on.
Yeah.
Get your shit on. Watch it anymore.
Yeah. Go on, get.
That's like that is such like a kid thing to think, like, oh man, well, you know, the woods is like a whole nother world.
Yes, yeah.
You know? Like he thinks that it's just gonna be like, yeah, I mean, he's gonna make a new life for himself just as a feral dog out there.
Right.
So it comes down to the final championship game, and it's against the rival team with the bully on it.
Of course.
And Josh's team, the Timberwolves, gets down, and they're in foul trouble. And like somehow, I guess they lose like a ton of players, and at some point, one of the other kids gets like hurt, and so they only have 4 players left.
Right.
And apparently, they have like no bench.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody, there's no other kids to come help. But Buddy somehow finds his way back to the school from the woods and shows up, and then they get him a jersey and stuff, and then like there's that line where the dad and the other coach are like complaining, and then the ref comes up and says, "Ain't no rule that says a dog can't play basketball."
Yes. I'd be mad too. I was like, what the hell is this? Come on.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they're like, so what? You're gonna put the dog in? And he goes, "Yep, we're gonna play the dog." And both of the dad and the coach are like, "Okay, go for it."
Yeah.
Because like
No way that works.
Him to know how to play basketball. Yeah. So I guess they take like some sort of intermission or something, but he comes like back out into the gym with a jersey as number K9.
Yeah, I remember the K9 thing. Yeah.
And they even give him little shoes, like little basketball shoes.
Yes. I remember that.
So Buddy is finally in the game now, and he like absolutely dominates on defense. Like anytime a kid gets the ball, he like just like steals it from them immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point they do like a jump ball, and the ref like throws the ball up in the air, and Buddy like barks and scares the shit out of the other kid, and like gets up and like he gets the ball.
Yeah.
And so they just start like assisting, right? Like all the kids just start like throwing the ball up to Buddy, and he like keeps scoring.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls them back from a 17-point deficit in the 4th quarter.
Hey, let's go.
So at the very end of the movie, he ends up like, it's like 5 seconds left or whatever. The other team has the ball. The bully has the ball. Air Bud goes out there and like steals the ball from the bully. And I totally forgot about this until I saw it. He like hits the ball into the kid's nuts.
Yeah.
And he like falls down, and he's like writhing in pain. He's like holding his balls, and like everybody just like keeps going down the court, and like nobody stops it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so they finally cover Buddy, and the ball gets to Josh, and he's like looking to try to pass it to Buddy again to make the score, but he can't because he's covered. So Josh takes the final shot and hits the game winner at the buzzer.
Oh, nice.
And so they win the season. And the movie ends with Norm taking Josh to court.
Yeah.
And he shows up to court in like full clown regalia, even though he apparently like hates being a clown. And he like tries to make it offensive, like, this dog's my livelihood.
Right. Yeah. He's
and
like
so
necessary for my career.
Mm-hmm. And so the judge like ends up like, he remembers the Cheney, the coach, the former NBA player. And he's like, oh, I mean, that guy's pretty cool. And Cheney suggests that they let the dog choose. So they go outside the courthouse.
I remember
and they have
this.
like a standoff, like a duel setup where each person is at the other end of like a field, and the dog's in the middle. And Buddy like goes over towards Norm first and runs up and bites him, and then runs over to Josh.
Yes.
While Norm is carried away for like freaking out and trying to like hurt Buddy and Josh after that.
Yes.
And that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, what a great film.
Dude, it was honestly like, even just watching it like segmented like in parts, it honestly it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. I found the trailer of it. I was like, man, I don't even remember like I don't even remember what the trailer for this looked like.
It honestly is one of those things where like it obviously heavily impacted by like nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
But going back, I was like, it's not as stupid as an adult as you would like first think.
Right.
It is pretty like dumb, but it's not bad.
Man, I haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
Yeah. See, I've thought about it only because in college I started watching, for whatever reason, the Air Buddies movies, which are his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we started making like drinking games to the Buddies movies. And every year for Halloween, since like 2014, I have watched Spooky Buddies.
Yeah.
And there's like a drinking game that we play to it and everything. So like I still get enjoyment out of them, because Spooky Buddies it's it's the perfect mix of like it is bad. It's not like redeeming of like, oh, it's pretty good, like Air Bud was. It's terrible, but it's so bad that it's hilarious.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen any other Air Bud movie.
The second one was a flop. Air Bud Golden Receiver.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Was a critical and commercial flop. So all of the subsequent movies were not released in theaters. They were all direct to video.
Yeah, that's all right.
But like I said, you can go on YouTube and watch a bunch of their stuff for totally free. You don't even have to have like a subscription to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They have Air Bud. They have Air Bud World Pup. Air Bud Spikes Back.
Is that volleyball?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch.
Baseball. Baseball seems hard.
Like I said, the Golden Receiver, which was football. And apparently, this was the same production company or same team that made the MXP movie, Most Extreme Primate. Do you remember that?
No.
It's like a snowboarding chimpanzee.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it was like a Disney Channel direct to video movie.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of stuff, man. They have one called Monkey Up, and it's about a skateboarding like little monkey.
Dude, I don't remember any of these.
I mean, I never saw that one, but
I missed out on the whole monkeys playing sport. I only saw the dog.
yeah, there's a whole world out there, man.
This MXP chimp looks pretty sick in the little like pictures for the movie on like the title.
Yeah, dude, he's snowboarding in one, and then at some point he's skateboarding, and then it looks like there's another one where he is playing hockey. So they finally got that hockey in with somebody.
Yeah.
Also, there looks like there's a a boxing Russell Terrier at some point.
Oh, what's that one called?
With a monkey as his coach. I only see the Spanish versions of them. So it's Russell sobre el ring.
Russell Madness?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. That is quite the combo there.
See?
I will say, this monkey, though, looks kind of like a swindler.
Yeah, a grifter.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him.
They have them in an array of languages available for people across the globe to enjoy.
Oh, yes.
Okay, hold on. I can't tell if a kid is wrestling or if the Jack Russell Terrier is actually wrestling. Hold on. Oh my God, it is. He's wrestling humans. He's wrestling like, oh my God, the guy pulls out a dog whistle on him. That's how he defeats him.
Give him the whistle.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny. Yeah, dude, these movies are gold, man. They're so off the rails now that they're so funny.
So that's going to wrap it up for us this week. If you could give us a rating or review wherever you're listening to this podcast, that really helps us out. Follow us on Instagram at shortpourpodcast or send us a suggestion through email at shortpourpod@gmail.com.
And as always, whether you pour short
or pour long,
always finish.